All right, and a hearty shout out and welcome to all of you in the Rabyd Nation. Welcome, one and all, whether you're a paid citizen, a tourist who is subscribed, or somebody just watching today, looking across the border, wondering whether to immigrate. Welcome, one and all, to the Rabyd Nation, and you should immigrate. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Appreciate all that stuff you guys do. Welcome to the Rabyd Atheist. I'm your host, Ed Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the Fireside chat on Monday, where we're going to look at the question of how does authority-based morality hurt society? We'll do that first, and then, whatever you want. That's kind of what the Fireside chat is all about. Like where we'll end up is all up to you. But I always like to start it out now with a question of all of that stuff. So welcome, one and all. Appreciate all of you. All of you in chat. There's a goal in chat. There's a goal in chat for the stream. That just helps me, pay for my streaming and do the things that I do. I appreciate being out there. I've stated many times that I have a threefold goal: to entertain you, to make you think, and to make money. So there you go. It's root hog or die. So there we go. So if that super chat goal is met, I will wear the hat chosen by the poll. And I've thrown in a new, for seeing that it's been gone for about 11 months, hat in there, the Irish fedora. So there's that one. So there you go. There you go. If you want to have that one too, but that's actually an older hat. I just haven't wore it in a long time, like since I started doing the hat thing. So that's in there in the chat. So that's a new one. But here we are at the Fireside chat. And so I did, this week, I've just been thinking about, I've run into a lot of theists, using the moral argument this week. I don't know why. It's just been pulling up in my chat. As everybody knows, I'm not a big fan of objective morality at all, because I think morality is an evolution of human beings and it's evolved along with us. But I've had several people just talk about how we need God to have morality, and I figured it was a good opening one. So, but let's get a roll call first. Who's here? I'll say that John from Holland was here very early. The elder gods have graced us with their presence again. Good to see you, Cranky. Evan is here. Rimmer's here. It's been a while, Rimmer. I haven't seen you in a bit. Good to see you. Nathan is here. Good to see you. Yes, us evolved Homo sapiens are all here. Martin is here. Good to see you. Moving right on down the list. Oh, the mighty Philbert is here. Good to see you, Phil. And Michael from Germany is here, and Ron from Indian Lake as well. Good. Absolute moral is a red herring. What are these morals that Christians go on about, and where does it actually demonstrate them? Yes. That's kind of been my point with how this affects society negatively, is just the thinking about morality gets very black and white. I don't know, the longer I live, Cranky, the more I realize that morality is a very social thing. Like, if I was living on a desert island, morality questions wouldn't probably come up as much as survival questions, if I was by myself. But the moment you inject a few people into the mix, what is morally right becomes an issue. So I only know that direct morality exists. It exists in somewhere, but I'm not really sure. Let's get the party started. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Cranky. It's subjective. You're regretting not picking up some scotch? Okay. Yeah, morality questions often involve alcohol. That's probably true. It's probably true. But yeah, I was just like, I've heard it so much, let's just do what you're told, that's the right thing. There's no evaluation in that. Like I remember somebody justifying in my church once, they did it, well, that's what God says to do. And I couldn't argue with them because the Bible was pretty clear on it, so there you go. What it does on the other hand. Yeah. Yeah, I've been programming again recently. I thought my autistic brain had stopped me from that permanently. Really? Oh, that's good. That's good. No, there was a comment earlier about autism, about how I'm handling it so well from John from Holland, and gosh, it's been 3 years. Now that I realize it, like this is my third anniversary inside this apartment. So I've been living here for 3 years, and it's about the third anniversary of discovering my autistic self and coming to terms with that. So yeah, it's been a good run. And so every once in a while I discover that I can do something that I used to be able to do that I felt I had lost for good. I remember when I walked away from the church, I don't want to public speak anymore. I don't want to be in front of people anymore. Like I just want to enjoy life. But yeah, it just didn't. It hasn't panned out that way, has it? So, yeah, you'll discover you can do other things. So, well, yeah, it's a man-made necessity. If we need it in order to survive and thrive, like we create morality to do that, and then we try to evaluate it by different things. And that's why I think it's a beneficial that morality is subjective, because it's then subject to change. Okay, when we realize we're doing something wrong or harming somebody else, if we start using our rationality about morality and various tools that we have in our toolbox to decide if something is just or right or causes somebody harm or diminishes somebody's well-being, then we can go back and look at it. And because it is a human-made concept, it doesn't make it a bad thing. Okay. Like pretty much all of us, our concepts are so yeah. There we go. Authority-based morale reminds me of Massey of Paley's line, I am the Senate, obey authority. It actually meant to be good for those in charge, but it's terrible even for them. Yeah, okay, hold on. I'm sure you're gonna look at the infighting among the Nazis and other authoritarian regimes. Speak of which, I heard Nick Fontes calls his followers idiots and losers. Yes, I heard that too. Um, see, that's the thing about the society I live in right now. I 20 years ago, Nick would not have been allowed to exist for more than he would never have gotten a following. Like it wouldn't have happened. Like, but today somehow somebody like that can get a following. But yeah, he's diminishing. I mean, think of all the authoritarian people out there, and to be honest, they're all they look down on their followers. So yeah, it's bad because it allows you to accept concepts that, man, just 20 years ago wouldn't have been accepted in the United States even. So it's allowed the cockroaches to come out, I think, this authoritative acceptance. So you all the bad concepts come back out and try to say that they're morally superior, and here we go. See, the only moral lesson in the Bible is obey God. The Old Testament is obey him or he'll fuck you up. Yeah, that's probably true. And the New Testament, obey him because you love him or he'll find you. Yes. Yeah, it's. I remember I've seen debates about this, and I remember having conversations about this with theists over the years. It's like, Jesus didn't make it better. He doesn't make it nicer or kinder. I mean, at least the Old Testament doesn't have a hell, and Jesus creates that concept as a final punishment. So yeah, he made it worse. Not to mention the torture, porn that you have to do with the cross and then all the rest of it. So yeah. All good programmers are autistic. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that's with a lot of people. But I had 30 years of ministerial experience where I forced myself to speak in front of people. I think it's like any other skill. You can learn it even as an autistic person. You get used to it once you do it a bunch of times, even an autistic person. Like, I think the real problem is I don't always understand. Like when I was public speaking, I didn't always understand the crowd's reaction to something I would say. Like like I was being either very literal or something, and they would take it figuratively, or the other way around. So I think my largest problem was the inability to read my audience at times. So, and I don't with YouTubing. I get you guys in the chat, and I can kind of, because you have to type things out. I think I get a better understanding what your reaction is. So it's a little bit better format for me than the pulpit was. So I've gotten used to it. So I bit the bullet and was hoping to get a matching tattoo. I've already had my first tattoo of a tuxedo kitty, and now matching tattoo of my blood. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, there you go. I don't know. I've never thought about getting the tattoo yet. I kind of, yeah. I don't know. If I do it, it'll be something that means something to me, probably, which means I don't know what permanently I would put on my body that would do that. As the supposed founder had voices in his head telling him to kill his son. That's an example. Oh my gosh, I was thinking about that the other day. Like some of the videos I did the first year I did this channel, and one of them was Abraham was not a hero. He's not a hero at all. Like he tries to kill his kid. You know, he has sex with multiple women. Just marries them all, and he's supposed to have this kid through Sarah, but he has a lot of other kids through a lot of other women, and it's like he's just uh, like if you look at him, in modern conception, the man is not exactly right in the head, and he's a little bit despicable. So tries to pass off his wife as his sister. It's like, hey, you go first. So, oh, let's see. Authority-based morality leads to tons and tons of abuse, especially of the marginalized. How a country treats the marginalized in society says a lot about the skeletons in said country's closet. Yes, Dragon Rider, outstanding. Welcome to. Um, yeah, it's one of my objections to authority-based ethics is there's no evaluation on how it harms anybody. Like harming the fact that it harms weak or marginalized groups isn't even allowed. You're not even allowed to discuss it because the authority said so. And so a lot of authority-based ethics, of course, come from religion, like they have their law-giving gods. But this idea that just because you're in a position of power makes you right, and then you turn around and use that power to harm people that are minorities or marginalized or too weak to defend themselves, it's a poor understanding of what the authority is for. So cockroaches, it is. Yeah, people have been leaving Christianity, the church in the United States now for the last 3 or 4 decades. The statistics are pretty clear. Like I think it was 2020 that somebody noted that there were now less than 50% Christians in the United States. So it's like 48% of people in the United States are Christians. There's a lot of people that have no religion at all. And, atheism is like 5%. Agnosticism is 6%. So atheism overall is 11. So, but yeah, that's it's been trending for quite a while. And this last year it kind of stabilized, but I think it's only because of Trump's election and everybody's kind of holding their breath about religion. The other things are occupying their time, so to speak. But the thing that caused me to leave, and I think this is pretty true of most people, is they begin to study the Bible and then they'd hear their preacher or apologist claims, and then they go and they look that up and they find, oh, there's like 400 different sources that debunk all that. So yes, yeah, it's happening, and it still will. I don't think that trend has stopped. I think that's why the current flock of Christian nationalists know that this is like their last hurrah. They either do what they're going to do, or they're not going to have another chance. Like, because the content of the country is going to change so much. That's already why there's so much backlash now. Is that certain people, the Christian nationalists, have massively overread the American populace as supportive of them, and they're not. So there you go. Cockroach. Well, they come out in the dark. Okay, if you keep things dark and cloudy, cockroaches will be there. I get tired of people pretending the Old Testament is all nasty. And then, yes, I have tried to get that across to people that the New Testament, you literally have God torturing his son and killing him. Like, that's a real great moral lesson. Like, I want everybody to think about that the way to redeem all of humanity, God's best plan was to torture his own kid and kill him, okay, and have him killed. Like, oh, he didn't actually do that. He set up the situation or it doesn't happen, okay? And then all of a sudden you give your son a bad weekend and then raise him from the dead with all the scarring still there. Like, it's like, how is this a good answer to the problem? Like, how is it even rational? Okay, in the first place, but how is this not an evil way to redeem mankind? And then you throw in the doctrine of hell created by Jesus and burning people forever because they don't agree with you. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how you get that the New Testament is so nice. Hey, Jacqueline. Narcissistic. As a former preacher, would I say I was slightly narcissistic? I don't know if you need to be narcissistic to preach, but you sure do have to have. There's other ways to have an ego. Like, you really have to believe that the message is true and everybody's wrong. Okay, like, this is something I've said about Christianity for years. You really do believe that you're like the center of the universe, like God has picked you, all of that stuff. I don't think you need to be narcissistic to preach, because there are some sincere preachers, but you have to be sincere in very, very bad things. Like, like when I got out of it, I realized how rotten some of this stuff is, but I don't know. There might be a touch of narcissism in every preacher, just like there's a touch of egotism. The worst case scenario with a lot of preachers, you get that narcissistic guy who is also a sociopath. Yeah, that's a very deadly combination in a pastor. Like, you want to see a cult in action, throw some narcissism in with somebody who's sociopathic, and yeah, you'll have a problem. So, experience of stating something a group is talking about very directly and people clutching their pearls because I said the thing out loud that they were already talking about. You too, huh? Yeah, I get that reaction sometimes at work when I say things, because I'm just being very factual and very matter of fact, and being true to my autistic self. And people just kind of look at you sideways like, well, you guys were thinking it. I'm just saying it. We're the ones that expression was made for. I'm just saying the quiet part out loud, So there you go. Oh my gosh. Always row his boat. Yeah, Abraham's kind of a precursor. He's definitely gone mental. Like, if you think you're hearing voices in your head that are telling you to go sacrifice your one and only son, first of all, I got a question of God who thinks that that's a legitimate test of anybody's faith. Like, it's like, now I look back and I'm like, how in the hell would I not think that such a God is evil if that's what they're demanding? Like, it's just, it's incomprehensible. But the fact that Abraham goes along with it, yeah, that's another problem. The other part that's really weird is Isaac, kind of afterwards, like, he almost gets killed and he's like, yeah, I'm all cool with every, like, he doesn't. I mean, I want you to think about his reaction. His reaction is so unnatural, and that's probably why the Bible moves on from Isaac so quickly. Like of all the patriarchs, he has the least amount of time. And I think it's because they don't want to really dwell on that too much. The coding fluffle. Okay, you got listen. I'm watching you guys talk. Okay, I'm trying to sort of kind of stay on topic. I mean, it's the Fireside chat, so the topic's kind of relevant. But yeah, you guys code away. Like we're all nerds here. Like I come on. I've got Dungeons and Dragons on the shelf. I've got I've got a bench over here at my table with several unfinished, nerdy type projects. So, so there you go. Well, there you go. Court order forcing Trump to restore historical minds about how the founding fathers owned slaves. Oh, all right. Well, that's good. Pay no gain, can't make Obama. Authority, you better bring your hall pass. Cult of the strong man, yes. Yeah, I think it's that's part of the problem is because the authority can't stay benevolent. This is why we just had the founding fathers all owned, not all of them owned slaves, by the way. That's just not necessarily true. Thomas Paine was an abolitionist for one. There were several abolitionists in the founding fathers actually, so it's kind of a mixed group. But the big thing that they all kind of went around with is government's not to be trusted because when you give somebody authoritative power, it can corrupt them. And so you want to diffuse the power. That's why separation of powers. That's why making sure that people's natural rights were listed in the Bill of Rights that the government can't take away. All of this is designed to get rid of that corrupting influence of authoritative power. Like they did not trust authoritative power. So there you go. Christian, I don't have no idea. I think the Pew Research poll, like there was a big thought like that it is flipped. Maybe it's here, let me so. Pew Research, I think, did it. Religion USA. Key findings. Pew Research, Religion USA. Christianity. Okay, it's still 62%. But then they broke down the different types of religion. So nominal religion, like fundamentalist Christianity, is actually less than 50% than it used to be. But yeah, it's like 62%. But as all of you well know, anybody can say they're a Christian. Whether they actually do what Christians say is another matter. Yeah, that's what it was. Like only it's church attendance. That's what I got that mixed up. But it's like church attendance is down to like 48% of the. In fact, this pre-research, the latest one says only 33% of Christians are actually. Let's see, although 70 claim a religious affiliation, only about 33% of people in the United States attend church. So 2/3 of us are staying home on Sundays. Especially me. But yes, I misspoke myself. It's not. It's the people. I thought the last one in 2010 that was the breaking point where they said like 48% of people are going to church and it's dropping. So they lost first place in the USA. It could be. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take that long. the problem with the current crop of Christian nationalists is I think they're going to actually push people away. So, hey, Earl. Good to see the lap in which our Lord naps. Good to see you. See, the party starts when Earl arrives. Well, that's a whole different theological curmudgeon, too, Nathan, about the creating of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. How do you judge somebody morally speaking if they don't know the difference between good and evil in the first place, and then they do an action and then you judge that morally bad? Like, it doesn't make any sense. The story doesn't make any sense from that standpoint. Like, if they don't have the knowledge of good and evil to begin with, why did they know about death? How did they know that it was wrong to eat of the tree? Like, that story just has so many weird moral holes in it. Like, it's kind of like, it's like putting a bottle of bleach in the middle of a couple of 2-year-olds and then telling them not to drink it. Like, do they even understand what you just said? Like, so yeah, you can be insincere. Like, preachers are motivated by different things. So I don't know. Well, I suppose you need to believe that you have something of use to add. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's a narcissism to Christianity. Like, I'm going to say it. There's a pride to it. There's an arrogance to it. Like, you found the truth, and that's the end of it. Yeah, and I agree with this. Preaching is a business. It's just some preachers don't know that. Like, I didn't really look at it that way until I realized that's what it was. Like, it takes an emotional revelation to realize what preaching is. Like, when you've been a preacher for 20 years and you're preaching one day, like my story is, like, I was preaching it, and I'm that old expression of sin is a made up concept. And I was preaching on sin. This is, many years ago, May 27th, 2015. And that was the day that my Christianity died. I'm preaching on sin and salvation. And when I got done, I realized that the whole idea of sin was made up. The whole gospel was made up. And I sat there, I'm like, son of a bitch, Ed, you make your living off a business that's a con, and that was a bad day for me. Okay. That's why I'm very patient with people, I think, because I know how long it takes me. So, yeah, I mean, those two are not necessarily the same thing. That's kind of what I'm trying to get across. You can have an inflated ego as a preacher, not necessarily be a narcissist. But that's what I was trying to get across earlier, because it's like you can be a preacher that really believes that you have the truth, and because you believe that you're like a vessel for God, that doesn't necessarily make you a narcissist. So it's like those are two different things. So yeah, it's something. It's an ego trip to be a preacher. Like, you don't always necessarily, like, a lot of us have these ego trips that we don't even realize we're on, and preaching is one of them. Like, when I was a preacher, like, I really believed I was delivering a message from God, that I was a message, I was called by God. I mean, the whole idea of a call of God as a preacher is a big ego trip. Like, God has selected you from among all these believers to be a messenger for him. Yeah, that's a trip. It is. I ain't gonna lie. So, so, but there you go. Yes, the universe's creator loves you. Yeah. Jephthah. Yeah, like, yeah, Cranky. That's the really weird difference between those two stories is, like, Abraham gets off and he gets to keep his kid, but Jephthah says he did according to what he said, and God didn't let him off of it. So poor Jephthah's daughter, who isn't even named, okay, she doesn't even have a name, gets slaughtered to fulfill his oath. But Abraham gets to keep his kid because God can somehow evaluate his heart about the whole thing. So yes. And I've said that the Jephthah's daughter thing is really sad, because in order to offer up a burnt offering sacrifice, the person who brings the sacrifice is the one that has to kill the offering. Like, you're the one that has to slit its throat. So you had Jephthah slit his own daughter's throat. Like, the priest didn't do that part. Okay. So, it's the things authoritative morality makes you do. And that's one good example. So now that's kind of, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm very interested to see what happens this election, because I have a very strong feeling about it, but we'll see. I'm going to hold those cards in because it's a long way from here to November. So, as a rabbit god, is Fangs the god of the all Harrises? Orthodox. I don't know, Cranky. It's not something he's revealed to me. Maybe Earl has some thoughts. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. But no. Yeah, well, orthodoxy is heretical in Fangsology anyway. All religions are heretical, like heretical. So there you go. Because it's from the devil, according to religion, allowing myself to explain it. I previously thought we're the devil. Yeah, I get it. Like, I went after paganism for a while. Like, okay, let's explore this for a while. Found out that paganism isn't what Christians said it was. Like, what you're going to find out is, like, a lot of things aren't what your opposition says they are. So there you go. Well, it's not a weak structure, though. The idea is to weaken the centralization of power. The issue is always, with the founding fathers, was the separation of powers issue was, let's create, I mean, who created the weak structures that kept that safe? Who's lost the commitment to keeping those barriers up, if not the American people? Like, part of the American people thinks that an authoritative ethic is a good thing. But yeah, the idea that was what we used to have is this very firm box. Okay, this is the executive branch. These are their powers. This is a congressional branch. These are their powers. This is a judicial branch. These are their powers. The problem is, over the years, people have kind of stolen powers from each other. And right now we have an executive that likes to steal powers from Congress and the judiciary branch. And instead of stopping him, saying, no, you can't do that, he's got willing participants in the other two branches that are just allowing him to take stuff. I don't know if it's the founding fathers that are the problem so much as what happens when one party gets in control. And as a German, you should know well what the problems are for one party getting in control of everything. And that's the problem. Like, it's always existed. It's always been a threat, this one party being in charge of everything. So, but yeah, trying to figure out how to, I don't know, they're not perfect. The founding fathers certainly weren't perfect, but they at least had the right idea at first. So, like, let's keep one person from getting too much power. I think they should have probably limited the executive a little bit more than what they did. So, got another rabbit hole. Anyone can say they're a Christian. That's why I get. And it's harmful to themselves and others. Having an inflated sense of confidence can be annoying to others, but is to any specific degree, yes. Yeah, he says the quiet part out really low. Nick Fontane's just like, yeah, I'm not sure he's good for that. How do we know that Theo is like? I don't know. Yeah, you ought to judge based on what they knew at the time of the action, good or bad. He called himself progressive. It's a trip. It is. A test without preparing them for the question is a horrible parenting teaching. Once I realized I knew sin was BS. Yes, Wolf. Yeah, like that story gives theologians bugaboos. Okay, like you can literally read 1,000 different theologians on the fall, and you'll get 1,000 different nuances on that particular question. Like it, yeah. Yeah, Earl used to be a witch, so and she would tell you that that particular woo is kind of dangerous. Like I get it. Everybody wants to experiment with stuff that's the church told them that was bad, so I get it. So like bueno and no bueno, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. So kind of requires you to think that humans are more special than yes. That's it's inherent to a lot of religions. Like this is why I'm an anti-theist. Like it inflates our ego unnecessarily, and it's not necessarily a narcissistic thing, but it's like you can lose your balance of who you really are by thinking more of yourself than what you actually are. Now, I'm all for like being confident and dealing with situations with a sense of confidence, but there's a point where that goes over a bound. So yes, everybody's going to hell but you. Yes. Yeah, I think Earl had the proper response. Remember? Yeah. Yeah. Trouble with the unevidence bull. Yes. Yeah. The line ignorance of laws, no excuse is about rules you know about without explicit study. Yes, it is. That's for the Pope. Oh, Fangs finds hair. Okay, there we go. See, I didn't have any revelation about that, Cranky. So I'm glad that Fangs has revealed that to Earl. So there you go. That might be. I'm thinking. I think the if bare minimum, I think the house is going to flip bare minimum, no matter what they do. So, and that creates gridlock at least, which stops things. So there you go. It was your birthday. When was this? So it's your unbirthday today. We'll say happy unbirthday to you today, but there. You don't even like that Theo guy? Okay, there we go. Shocked. Corruption. You gotta love it. Uh, actually, I've heard rumblings, Nathan, about the last Payne Bondi hearing did not go well for her or for Trump or with their own side too. Like that's hilarious. Like we're talking about the Epstein files, and she switches to the stock market. It was just. I'm like, woman, what are you thinking? Like, you got to answer the question. Like, so. See you later, Martin. You have a good one. Where's Fred? Fred was working. Fred shows up on Fridays. He shows up on the weekend, but he's working right now. Poor sap. So he listens later, though. Rimmer, he does listen later. I don't. The nakedness thing is like I remember the idea of nakedness is they were completely innocent to all that stuff, supposedly, but somehow we became uninnocent to all that stuff because of sin, which is why like there's a couple of times in history that there's been a Christian sect called Atomism. And atomism is like going back to the time of Adam and Eve, and part of the practices of atomists was to wander around naked. So, getting rid of that. So it's happened. It could have been shrinkage. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Immature tree from like they ate the proper fruit, they'd have known a lot more. Oh, that might be valid. Oh, The problem was learning good and evil, but mixing good and evil together, then you get screwed up. Looking for a custodian, unemployed, looking for custodian work. There you go. Hey, something simple. Like I do something simple. Like this is my real thing that I want to do full time, but it's going to take a while, I think. So, it's a grower, not a shower. Confirm. There you go. There you go. Confirmed stuff. This is what you get here on the Rabyd Atheist. Confirmed knowledge. uh, oh, okay. Well, Dave at Captive Desk, like if you want it, they're still doing Saturday Night the Atheist, but I think it's Answers in Atheism that covers it now a couple of times. Like I was there when they shifted. But Dave of Captive Desk has got his own health battles right now. So um, I'm gonna, I'm giving the guy a lot of grace. So I don't know what's going on. Or Godless Granny, like Fred works, but I also think he's kind of busy sometimes too. He gets busy. He has other times of the year where he's not as busy. And so I don't know what's going on with him sometimes, but yeah, he shows up. He was there. He was here Friday. Yeah, he showed up. So so there you go. But yeah. So there's a lot of things going on in that world. I'm not sure how Godless Granny's doing these days either. So she's been on. I've missed her show a couple of times. So tell Parliament, yes, Prime Minister. True. So I can tell Parliament. Okay. That's probably fair. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't see anybody around. Like, yeah, but I saw Fred Friday, I thought, but he was very brief, and when I was done, I didn't see him again either. So nobody shout "Oh Adam" during sex. They always say "Oh God." I don't know why that is. Poor guy. We kind of not a show. That's why I went into farming. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I get the concern. I know I saw him Friday though. He was here Friday, so that's the last time I saw Fred. Um, it. I know he listens to these streams, so he'll probably leave a comment in the stream after it's over, unless he. But I know his work situation changes every now and then, so he has to. He's rare when he's here, so I appreciate it when he's here. So good stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I know that for a couple of weeks he was off, and that's why he was everywhere. Like he was like, I swore the man lived on YouTube or so. So contents. Yeah. Well, Fred, that's where Fangs and count. See, you brought the lore together. Adam's a grower, and he's in the farming, and this is where Fang shows up to deal with the vegetables. So there you go. There you go. Snow is loved even though he's upside down. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Poor Australians. Get all this shit. There you go. There you go. Yes, but this is the completed lore. There you go. Adam is a grower, not a shower, so he goes into farming, and that's where Fangs gets his vegetables. It's all manipulations. So there you go. Hey, skeptic. Good to see you. Hey, hanging out on a Monday. Yeah, just say we love you, Fred. He might show up. He just might show up. Speak his name. We'll speak his name 3 times. Fred, Fred, Fred. There we go. Let's see if he shows up. But He's been known not to show up at a stream, but he's also, and then he'll leave a comment on the stream later because he listens to it later. So, if you got expressions of love for Fred, I think he even watches the chat because I activate that so you can watch the live chat. So, San Francisco. Fred even sees the moon upside down. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I am sure when Fred sees us later, he'll give you an answer. Oh, I feel weird not going to church on Sunday. It'll feel weird for a while. After a while, it gets to be something that you enjoy. Like, you know what I do on Sunday? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. As a former minister and preacher and going to church for 40 years, like, I just have this thing. Like, the first thing I actually do that's probably constructive on a Sunday is getting ready to go to work on Sunday night. And that's about it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he has a fondness for Earl. Like, he appreciates you more than I can say, and he likes to call you mom. So click your shoes and wish for Fred. Oh, now he's going to show up. He's going to show up at the next stream. He's going to do it on purpose. So there you go. Yes, bunnies. As an Australian, I can answer that. Actually, if Bren was here, Bren's an Australian too. So I've got like three or four Australians that show up from time to time. So there you go. Oh, she was rocking that. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. Like, there was a couple, like, I don't know what's up with my notifications. Like, I have certain streamers and stuff that I have my notifications on for, and they don't do shit. And so I'm going to have to go through all of them again and make sure they're on. But like, I don't know. YouTube created the notification stuff where you get notified when somebody you wanted to watch on the regular had their stuff, and I've turned it on for them, and nothing. So there you go. Yes, baby. Oh, yeah. See, baby fangs here. I'll do that. I'll put baby fangs on the screen. See, finally been mentioned. Sorry, like upside down ones. It's all a matter of perspective of which way the globe should be, isn't it? Isn't it? No, I don't know. There you go. So there you go, baby fangs. So, any evidence for Americans being upside down? All right. Has Dave the Australian been here lately? I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. Take a walk just about every Sunday. That it's not really more often than not with my daughter. It's better than church. Yes. But I think Paul Agio was here. Paul Ents was here, and I asked him the question what he didn't miss the most, and it says with getting up so early for church. And like, I feel that so much in my bones. Like, it's after 40 years of getting up early because I was very involved in the church even when I was a layperson. Like, it's just getting up at 6:00 in the morning, sometimes 5, depending on when my church service was. My last church had church at 9:00 in the morning till like 10:30. And so I had to get up way early. And then when I was in the Pentecostal church, of course, if you were in lay leadership, they wanted you to go to prayer meeting and all that stuff. So by the time I got up and got ready and gone, like, I don't have to do that anymore. Creationists, I don't like them. I used to be one. I was a very staunch creationist when I was an Assemblies of God boy. The problem with creationism is it has to prove itself, and it doesn't have any real good proof. Like it has a lot of assertions, but it doesn't bother to prove them. And that's something that they also miss. They can disprove evolution tomorrow and win their Nobel Prize, which they will never do, and it still wouldn't prove that God did it. So, but yes, the creationists and me don't get along very well. I've had a few on here. So, so there you go. Baby. Oh my gosh. Evan, true to form. Besides, electrons come to the south anarch should be on the top of the map. Okay, fair enough. I think being upside down with that more flat Earth, that's probably true. Assertions, yes. Oh, there you go. Unless the South Pole is higher, it's on land where the North Pole is sea level. Yes, creations like apologetic doesn't do good proof. Yes, yes. There we go. Womp, womp. Yes, no, for me, creationism, I've had so much. I don't deal with it very often because there's certain things that I just feel are nonsense. To the point of I don't know how people believe this stuff at this point. So I just don't. So valid. Like this is why I don't deal with flirfers at all. Like they've had a couple of them show up on here. So no. Okay. Here's the thing, Nathan. I don't care what they prove. Like we have so much overwhelming proof that the world is a globe right now that it's ridiculous, and yet flat Earth exists. Okay, the reason it exists, and I'm telling you right now, it goes back to how the Bible describes the Earth, and so you have three Abrahamic religions that have the Genesis 1 explanation of what the Earth looks like. It's a flat Earth with a dome with windows in it. The moon and stars and all that stuff are inside of it. Like it's, I between the flirfers and the creationists, I think I've had my fill. But the flat earthers are the worst because it's like we already have tons of reasons. Like there's a guy from 200 BC, I think, that figured out the world was round using sticks and shadows. Like, and it's gotten a lot worse than that. So yes, but yes, I'm fairly certain they'll do Artemis 2, and they'll still be flirfers because it's a faith thing. So it's not an evidence thing. It's a faith thing. Is it upside down? Is the morality upside down? I don't know. You have to ask Fred. He'd probably agree with that. Called the Edison disk with a small hole for the sun, like a record player. The flat plane, it has gravity pointing at the disk, so you can be on both sides. Oh, well, that's an interesting one, I'm sure. Yeah, even Ken Ham thinks that flat earthers are nuts. Well, the funny thing about the creationist stuff in Kentucky there is they actually believe in like microevolution because they have to have it to get all the animals off the ark and then divergent into their current forms. So they have this microevolutionist belief. So that's the funny. They believe in evolution, but they want to put it within their story. So I wish I had the Magic Zoo Boat song right now, but I'll leave that to Dave. Yeah. Landing on the moon. Yes, I know. All that evidence, though, it's hard. There's a part of it I think is just contrarianism. Yes, I would agree with that. Like they just want to be different. Yeah, I'm kidding. You got problems. Yeah, like a sugar get weird. Ancient calculations for the scums of the earth were some of the first things I learned in physics. Yes, I mean, like there's a guy in Africa that he got a letter from somebody about the observation of a shadow on a compass on a sundial, and he's like began to think about it, and he started doing observations, and came to the conclusion that the world was round, and then he did some other calculations and figured out how big the circumference was, and he was pretty damn close. So, given the things of the time, but yeah, he figured it out. And this is all long before any of this, like this whole stuff. So they have a total eclipse of the heart. Oh boy. It's only evolution if Mike Rose it. Yeah, that's who it is. That's I was trying to. Yeah, one of these guys. Yeah, yeah, he. I think this is the guy that figured it out from the shadows, and then the Greek astronomer figured it out. Yeah, it's like it's it's a it's a well-known story. Like this guy figured this out. Like he figured out that the Earth was round. He figured out how big around it was. Like, and he all did that from observations of shadows and doing some measurements and things like that. And bingo. You like watching flat earthers debunkers on YouTube? Yeah, they're kind of fun. Yeah. Oh, he did. Yeah, yeah. The Greek astronomer figured out that it was a heliocentric universe, that we revolved around the sun, not the other way around. So, since it's hip to be square, the Earth is Earth must be square. Okay. No, it's okay, man. We all listen. We're all pounding around here in our ignorance. So, like, there's nothing new here. Like it. Yeah. Honestly, I think it is a grift now. Like it is purely like flat earthers. They give their money to other central flat earthers. It's a grift. Like it's a church. They should call it the Church of Flat Earth. It would be more accurate. Yeah, it's very, very big and round. Yes. I'd like to shut down that stupid arc tomorrow if I had the power to do so, because Cam Ham is lying openly to the public about the truth. Seriously, creations. Yes. Um, I don't know. I would love to shut it down too. I wouldn't mind it so much, except he's gotten a lot of like public money in a way. He's gotten tax write-offs because it's a religious organization, but then it's not a religious organization. He's got a school there now. I guess it's not doing all that well. But like, there's a whole bunch of things that he has profited from public funds. That's my biggest issue. Like, if it had all been done privately, like everything was done by private donations, I can't stop people from doing stupid shit with their money, I guess. But it's like it's the public funding and the tax write off and all this other stuff that just drove me nuts. It's like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, you can pretty much. Yeah, well, I thought it was pear shaped. He had a lot of thoughts about pears anyway. So I'm inclined to agree currently. Indeed, quite culty. Yeah. Oh, Kevin Bacon's greater than Kevin Ham. Okay, no, because his name's Bacon, not Ham. So it's a bacon ham thing. Kenneth Copeland, theologically sound. Well, first of all, no, let's talk about, let's say I was still a Christian and I was still a Pentecostal. Okay, so Kenneth Copeland, at that point, me and him are pretty close, kissing cousins, so to speak, theologically speaking. That thought really makes me ill. But Copeland's problem is I don't think it's about theology, it's about the money. So he's clearly a megachurch grifter. Like and as long as there are naive people, he'll do it. Now, as far as theology goes, name me a sound theology that doesn't have its problems, and then I guess, like every theology I ever studied in seminary and later on when I was a pastor had its problems. So there you go. Air travel times. Ken Ham just got $1 million from his grift. Yeah, I mean, it's like he just picked up a bunch of money. He does this every year. Like he just gets money. So those tax anyway. You didn't see hangers at the Arcade counter. And so, but yeah, I don't think he did. You could say, I don't know. Has Kent Ham ever had a sexually related scandal? I know Ken Hovind has. Hovind's got a ton of them. But I'm not sure Ken Ham has. I'd have to look it up. But I don't think that's near as. I don't think Ken Hovind's thing is girls, by the way. I mean, he's been married for a long time, but I don't think that's his thing. That's not his problem. His problem is money. Like he's a greedy bastard. Like because there's been a myriad of reports coming out of the Ark Encounter of how he treats his employees and how he doesn't pay them and how a lot of those internships that they give out, like it's free work. All they really do is feed them and put them up, and they don't even really give them a stipend. You're kind of on your own kind of thing. That's used to be the case, but I'm not sure if they changed it because of bad public outlets. But yeah, I don't know if that's ever been his problem. It's Ken Hovind with better shirts. Ken Ham does have the better accent. Yes, he does. I have relearned calculus just to debunk on a floor of things I thought about a prayer at Jarman. It's a. Yeah, I don't think him in the PDF files. Yeah, I don't think he does either. Not yet. I don't think he has one. Not yet. I don't know. I just never. Easy. Okay. Do I have a favorite book? Oh, that's a hard one. I love these questions that are totally off topic. By the way, don't ever stop asking them. Like the whole chat's design is to get me off topic. I know that. So, favorite book. Um, uh, okay, there are some books I read every year because I like them. Gosh, there's so many. Um, it's hard to name a favorite book. It's like trying to pick my favorite children. Um, so, yeah, it's not the Bible. The Bible isn't my favorite book anymore. It used to be, but I don't think I like it that much anymore. Man, there are some books that if I am stuck in a position where the only thing I have to read, I would prefer to have them. I think Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein is at the top of my list. The Hobbit by Tolkien is another one. Nonfiction. There's a book called Leadership and Self-Deception by the Arbringer Institute that I read probably every other year. So yeah, it's a tough one. Like you're asking me to, like, I have a lot of favorite authors, like Robert Heinlein's one of them. Jim Butcher is another one. I love the Harry Dresden series. Like you're noticing a lot of fiction in my list. So, but yeah, I do have a few nonfiction things. The thing with nonfiction is usually tends to be the latest thing I've read. So yeah, that's heresy. I would agree with that. That's hard for me to do. I'll be honest, man. Re-rate it's a hard one for me to answer because I read so voraciously. So there you go. I don't have a favorite. Well, my two sons would probably argue that my favorite child is my daughter, but yeah, it's a dad-daughter thing. So get over it. So, so, uh, I'm sorry, I don't know if I have any fairy tales that I believe in. Atheism is just saying I don't believe in any God. That's all it is. I mean, you somehow think God saying let there be poof and it poofs isn't a fairy tale. Like it sounds very like fairy tales. Um, yeah, and I don't know. Atheism is simply there. It's people are atheists, so I don't know how that's a fairy tale. This sounds like a very silly statement, to be honest. Doesn't really show a lot of thought. Like that's all my point. Yeah, it's like what's your point? So, well, of course. Why wouldn't he change his position on hell? Well, that's the thing with Kirk Cameron. It's like, oh man, like he's supposedly be the smart one that was on that show, and no, not really. I don't know. I Hell is always going to get an argument no matter who changes their position. He just happens to be a very notable person to do it, but tons of people have changed their position on hell and afterlife. So, um, favorite books, The Act of the Apostles? No, no, not really. There would be no need for atheists to hide in them. What the hell does that mean? Yeah, I mean, there's a good case for George Orwell. He's a pretty good writer. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what this is. Like, I where am I hiding? Like, I'm not hiding in any mott. I'm not. What in the hell are we talking about? Okay, atheism is simply you say I believe this God exists, and I say I don't believe you. I don't think the evidence is sufficient. That's all it is. Like it can't be a worldview because of that. It just addresses one question: the existence of gods. Period. Full stop. You're talking about atheism as if it's a worldview, and it's not. So it can be part of a worldview, but I don't like it fills that religion, supernatural stuff in your worldview, but the rest of it takes a little bit more work. So it was a lot of people's favorite book. Okay, you need to understand something about Stranger in a Strange Land. At the time it was written, conservatives read it, liberals read it, weirdos read it, everybody read it. Like it was all over the place. Like it has its points. Like I can understand why Charles Manson would like it, but is in his twisted mind he probably twisted the meaning of the book. But like I have a book that's called Grumbles from the Grave, and it's all of Robert Hyland's correspondence with his friends and stuff via letters about various subjects published posthumously after he was dead. And he has a lot to say about that particular book. And one of the things he says, it's amazing how people can take it in all different directions. Um, he says stuff like that, like there's stuff that people put in it that he didn't even intend. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I don't have to. I don't have to prove atheism is true. You're the one that has to prove God exists. You're the making the positive claim. I'm an agnostic atheist. I'm just saying the evidence that for a God is not sufficient for me at this present time. I don't have to prove atheism is true. That's about the most nonsensical thing I've heard you say so far. Like, what am I asking you to prove? I'm not saying there is no God. I'm just saying I don't think there is one given on the evidence presented. And I used to be a Christian, so I know all the evidence that was some. Well, that's an unproven assertion. Like science fiction means that it's scientific and it's also fictional in the fact that it doesn't exist. Okay, like hyperdrive in science fiction is science fiction because hyperdrive, as far as we know, doesn't actually exist. Atheism actually exists, so it's not fiction. Okay, it can't be fiction. I am sitting here. I am a literal atheist. I'm in front of you. I am an atheist. Okay, that's not fiction. You need to learn how words work. Okay, okay. No, it doesn't actually. But yeah, this is just a patently false statement because atheists exist, atheism exists. It's not fiction. So there you go. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Reality doesn't align closer with Christianity at all. If you're a true Christian, you have to believe that Jesus rose from the dead, and there's no evidence for that. Just the hearsay accounts of a bunch of believers. So, I have yet to find the evidence for that. So, sorry. I was a Pentecostal, so I was looking for the biological explanations for healing for a long time, and I never could find it. Like, no, it just, you'd hear about a healing that was documented by hospitals and stuff. You go check it out, and it turns out, no, it wasn't. It was a made up story. So, so far, there's been no good evidence to prove healing works. So, divine healing just still is. And yes, it still doesn't prove your God exists. So, I'll start with Once Upon a Time, Far, Far Away. Yes. No, it doesn't prove anything because spontaneous remission doesn't exist. Okay, you haven't proven that. Okay, atheists exist. It's not a fiction. Fiction means it's a non-true story. Okay, you don't know how words work. Okay, you really don't. You need to look up stuff. So you need to look up how things work. Yes, I mean, do you have an example of a reattaching, regrowing limb because of faith? So there you go. Did you have an opinion on universalism when I was a Christian? I felt you couldn't maintain universalism from a biblical stance because the Bible doesn't preach a universalism. Like you could get it from certain verses if you didn't consider the entire Bible in context. But the Bible pretty much, the best I could do at the end as a theologian was that hell was a temporary place that would eventually be cast into the lake of fire. That's in Revelation. And at that point, everybody would be annihilated that was in hell. So, like, annihilation makes God slightly better than burning them forever. So, give it, like, where's the scientific study? Just list it. I want to see it. Like I want to see it. Where is this so-called evidence? Like you say, there's plenty of evidence for it, but you have yet to give any since you've been talking. Like this is pretty typical of most theists. Okay, like you say there's plenty of evidence for something, but then you don't give it. So either you actually believe that in your text, or think your God is a monster, or you think your texts are fiction. Yes. Yeah, yeah, you got to switch probably to the live chat, which usually means that when somebody's not appearing in that they've been flagged. Okay, so and the fact that you have this kind of name, AIFLY3R, that's a YouTube given name. So this is a channel or a person that's created themselves simply to be a pain in the ass. And now that once they get banned from enough people, YouTube will ban them, and yeah, it'll end. So once again, where is this evidence in science? Give it to me. Once again, you're talking about atheism as if it's a worldview, and you're talking about materialism if it's an only part of a worldview. You can be a materialist and still have other things in your worldview, and same with atheism. But sorry, you keep saying these things exist, but you don't. So, I mean, I'm pretty tolerant here on Fireside Chat, but you're pushing my buttons at this point, and I'm surprised that some of my mods haven't reacted, but it's okay. And don't get preventive. I know he's accusing me of using the Mott and Bailey, but I don't know what I'm doing here other than I'm simply saying I literally have said atheism is just I don't believe you're God. Okay, that's all it is. I don't believe in any of them. Okay, that's simply reality. Okay, it's not a Mott and Bailey to keep saying that. I don't. Mott and Bailey is when you say something controversial that's way out there, and then you retreat to something that's a little more accepted. Okay, that's a Mott. I don't know where I've done that. I know he's excusing me of that. Crumbles from the grave. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sam Perina's studies prove atheism is science. How would you prove a viewpoint that people hold as science fiction? Like you don't even know what the word fiction means. And I don't know who Sam Perina is other than, hold on. Because if I end up, cardiac arrest, associate professor of medicine at Illinois Medical Center and director of institutions known disease. Near death. Okay, so he's a near death experiences guy. Okay, fair enough. Where's Rimmer when you need him? Where's Martin when you need him? But yes, yeah, near death experiences. Yeah, no, that's not proof that there's a God or any of that. Like, it's amazing how Christians have Christian near death experiences. Islamic people have Islamic near death experiences. Hindus have Hindu near death experiences. It's almost like your brain, who is in overdrive and in crisis, is just reaching out for anything that'll give it hope. And it has nothing to do, just because somebody has a near death experience doesn't mean it proves what's beyond there at all. So sorry, nope. Yeah, I'm not a Bailey guy. Lack of belief is not science. So big deal. Like, sorry, it's a reality. There are people that don't believe in any God. That's not a fiction. You need to learn what fiction means. Apparently, you don't know what that word means. Okay. It's not just imagination. I literally don't believe in a God. Like, there's people in this room that don't believe in a God. Okay. That's not fiction. That's not imagination. That's their reality. Okay. You can either accept that or you can keep making stuff. Thanks, Earl. You can keep making stuff up. You're making stuff up. I'm not the one making stuff up. You are. And, boy, near death experience. I could see that. So is that a problem for Saint Valentine too? I think it would be a problem for Saint Valentine too. I have no need of that hypothesis. Yes. Yeah, prove it's not collecting stamps exists. Yeah. Yep. To collect stamps, but now I do not collect stamps. There you go. Non-stud collector videos. Baileys, yes. That kind of Baileys I'll get into, but yes. I'm not into the, like, I've been consistent throughout this entire discussion, Jacqueline. I just don't have a belief in any God. And that's a reality. Okay. People can sit there and, I'm suspicious of anybody who has like a username that's a bunch of letters that is issued by YouTube. So it shows that they don't have the guts to, like, dealing with this. That guy just didn't have the guts to create a channel, abide by YouTube rules, and come up with decent arguments that people aren't just going to say, "Good, go away." You're just being annoying out there. So. contemporary theologians. As a guy with a master's degree in theological studies, I've read a lot of theologians. Probably Barth and Bultmann. At least they were honest about the historicity of the Bible being questionable. Like they realized, there are some theologians that realize that the Bible has massive historical problems, and so thus they don't deal with that. Who's the guy that was the pastor that died at the hands of the Nazis because of his conspiracy to get against Hitler? He was another one. His theology is very interesting because it's very humanist based, in my opinion. Like, you got to do things to stand up for what you believe in. But yes, there's a lot of guys like, yeah, he was a troll. Like, I knew he was a troll, but I let people get away with a lot of that. Illustrates a lot of things, Nathan, when they come to the Fireside chat and they talk like that. Like, it's like it just showed, like, you this guy over and over, and those of you watching later, just watch the live chat. Watch the live chat, and this guy's just making claim after claim after claim after claim about atheism, this, that, and the other, and he doesn't have any evidence. He doesn't even present any evidence. It's just sad. It's sad to me that that's something that that you think is worth time doing. Like, it's like, I don't know. This is why I run this channel. So, spontaneous remissions are a biological process. Well, he might be hidden by YouTube by this point, because it's one of those guys that has like, the username was made up when he created his channel, and he hasn't bothered to chain it. So I can see him, and I know Earl saw him because she ended him. Yeah, you're playing with his food. Yeah, see, Earl was playing with her food, but he got boring in a quick hurry. Yeah, she already kicked him out. So, but yeah. No, that was my problem, Michael, is I actually understood atheism quite well because I had atheist friends that I would dialogue with, and I wasn't going to be a dick with them. Like, I understood atheism quite well, that it was a non-belief in God. It's what caused me to question Romans 1:18 through 20 anyway, because I knew my friends and I knew they weren't bullshitting about not believing in God. So, and then now I have my own experience with that. So, yeah, they are. Yeah, he is an MD. Yeah, well, but he's also, that guy is just, the guy he was referencing is also, like, he's an associate doctor. He's not like the main guy. Like, and that's because he's probably a little bit odd. So it's a problem for Arthur Valentine. Okay, there we go. Bay leaves. Oh, I got to wrap this up in about 5 minutes, so I'm trying to zip through the comments. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, that's who I was thinking about. There's a guy who actually lived his theology of doing something about, like, he was a pacifist and he changed his mind because of what was going on. I can respect a guy like that. Yeah, Bonhoeffer's got the chat. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'm fairly certain I'm not AI. Yes, Dr. Quinn was also an MD. Oh my gosh. Other people would see the troll. Yep. Missionary person on easy mode. Yes. Yeah, I mean, he did try to, like, Bonhoeffer did try to be a part of the assassination plot against Hitler. So, after being a pacifist, and he had, like, he changed his theology a little bit. So I'm sure he was one of those guys. But like, I can respect somebody who uses their theology to try to help others and be a good humanitarian, a human person, concerned about human beings. But once you get into the authoritative ethics, I'm kind of done. So at that point, so that's why I can't block people on YouTube, because I'm mad all over the place. I need to be able to see. I don't know, sort of dangerous to me personally. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I let them talk. Like, I let them talk. All right. Well, I got to wrap it up. Like, it's gotten late out of hand, and I've got to go. I've got to go to work. They take a dim view of it when I don't show up. But thanks for everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. This should be an entertaining for one of you like watching Earl and me play with our food. This will be a fun one. But thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. Only got one donation today. That was cranky, so thank you very much. So the hats stay in the file until I get enough donations. So thanks everybody for appreciate it. Let's see. Next time I'll be on will be Wednesday. We'll be doing another episode of Red Letters, Red Flags. I think this one we'll be talking. We're going through the Sermon on the Mount, so we'll be hitting the salt, the light, and the law. We'll get all of those done, and we'll do that at that time. So thank you very much for everybody for coming out. As always, let Fangs nibble on all of your hearts. May he purify all of your vegetables with his pointy teeth and make you warm and fuzzy inside with his big eyes, because he's so doggone cute. So, but yes. And, make sure you leave a circumcised carrot on top of your stash. It'll protect your stash from Fangs, assuming, of course, that he doesn't want your stash more than the carrot, which can sometimes happen. So it's not a guarantee. And nom nom and all that. Make sure you wiggle all your noses at your fellow Fluffle members whenever you see them or note them. Appreciate them. So thanks. Thanks, everybody. And as always, folks, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So make sure you take all your time, your money, your opportunities, and use them for yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. I speak, and don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all Wednesday for Red Letters, Red Flags. I'll see you all then. In the meantime, you have a great one, and may Fangs go with all of you. Go with all of you and make you feel all kinds of warm and fuzzy because of his big, big eyes.
It's time to take a stand, bringing the truth to a fucked up land. We've had enough of the lies and